Today, I want to break down every major plant-based milk on the market. Soy, almond, oat milk, coconut, cashew milk, and even protein milks. There's rice, hemp, pea, there's so many options. And every brand claims that theirs is the healthiest, theirs is the creamiest, and theirs is the most environmentally friendly. Some say that they're the closest to dairy, and then there are some YouTubers out there that say that some of these are toxic and they should be avoided at all costs. So today I wanted to clear all of that up. I wanted to look at the real nutrition, the actual health positives and negatives, what science says, and figure out which plant-based milk is best depending on your goals. And then in the end, I'll let you know which one I commonly have in my fridge. Now, I didn't go brand specific. I bought all of these unsweetened, unflavored, with minimal ingredients. That's what I believe is key. One of the common negatives and stereotypes you hear about plant-based milks is that they're filled with loads of fillers. But that can be easily avoided. Most of the plant-based milks I have here on the counter simply just have their ingredient like soy and water, maybe a little salt. That's okay. So first and quickly, how are plant-based milks made? I've shown that here on the channel. I actually have a video dedicated to making all plant-based milks. So a quick primer, it's very simple. Most plant-based milks follow the same formula. Soak the main ingredient, blend with water, strain and/or filter, and then add emulsifiers, sweeteners, whatever you like, or keep it plain, like I like. That's why nutrition varies so broadly by different brands, and why I tried to stick with brands that kept it very simple. Some milks are naturally richer, like soy or pea milk. Others are basically flavored water, like almond milk or rice. So today I want to give you the average nutrition numbers for unsweetened, fortified versions of their milk. I also want to show you the counterpart for which I picked up today. So the first milk up is soy milk, the one that I have here. Soy milk is the OG of plant-based milks. Your average nutrition for 1 cup is around 80 calories, 7 grams of protein, 4 grams of fat, 4 grams of carbs, and usually fortified with calcium, vitamin D, and B12. The positives of soy milk: 1, the highest protein of all plant-based milks. Very close to dairy. There's very good research behind it. Soy milk has been studied for decades. Naturally, it's low in saturated fat and cholesterol-free, and some evidence suggests that swapping high-fat dairy for soy can help lower LDL cholesterol. Now the negatives: soy is one of the top allergens. People do worry about phytoestrogens, but large human studies, which is key, have shown no feminizing effects, no testosterone drop, and no issues for most people. And taste isn't everyone's favorite. I personally like it, especially if you make it on your own. Now, this is best for people who need or would like more protein in a milk substitute. Athletes would strongly benefit from soy milk. We're gonna move on. Told you it was quick. But before we move on, I'm gonna grab a quick snack from today's sponsor. Wild Grain is the first baked from frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, artisanal pastries, and fresh pastas. I mean, look at all of this. I love these waffles. I've been getting their plant-based box for like a year now, and I can't imagine going back to a time without it. And with Wild Grain, you're supporting the best small bakeries in the country. Plus, with the holidays coming up, Wild Grain's artisanal breads and seasonal pastries make entertaining the family effortless. I can't wait for my family to try these cookies. Just preheat the oven and enjoy bakery fresh goodness in 25 minutes or less. I mean, honestly, some of the best sourdough bread I've ever had. It's so good. Unlike store-bought, Wild Grain uses a slow fermentation process that's easier on your belly, richer in nutrients and antioxidants, and can even lower blood sugar spikes. Plus, they are constantly adding new, seasonal, and limited-time specialties to try in your next box. And with every box order, they donate 2 meals to a nonprofit of your choice at no extra cost. So gang, you gotta check out Wild Grain. Head to wildgrain.com/SauceStache and use code SauceStache to get $30 off your first box. Plus, you'll get free croissants in every box for life. Wild Grain, thanks for sponsoring today's video and for making incredible plant-based breads and pastas and cookies. The cookies are so good. Almond milk. Almond milk is one of the lowest calorie options. That's because there's almost no almonds in the almond milk. The average nutrition comes out to 30 to 60 calories per serving. This one specifically is 40. 1 to 2 grams of protein, 3 grams of fat, and less than 1 gram of carbs. The positives: it's extremely low calorie. It's usually fortified pretty well, contains vitamin E. It tastes pretty dang good and blends easy if you're making it at home. The negatives are there is almost no protein, as you heard. Many brands add gums, emulsifiers, and sugars. This one is sugar-free, unsweetened, but there is some gums and emulsifiers. Now, just like the soy milk that I purchased, you can find almond milk that doesn't have anything in it besides almonds and water. And one of the biggest negatives about almond milk is its environmental impact. Almonds require a lot of water to grow, and there's been some controversy surrounding some almond farms and droughts. It's probably one of the better all-around milks when you're not looking for any specific need, because of its neutral taste and low calories. Don't expect any extravagant nutrition or protein from this. It does taste good though. Next on the list, oat milk. Oat milk is the one that you find in all of the cool coffee shops. It blends the best when you're making frothy lattes. When you make it at home, it can be a little tricky. Sometimes you end up with gummy oat milk, which is a little odd considering the way that it's made. Oat milk typically comes in a little higher calories, 120 calories a serving, 2 to 4 grams of protein, 4 to 5 grams of fat, and 16 grams of carbs. This one's actually pretty minimal, so you can find low-calorie oat milk. This one's 40 calories, but that is kind of rare. Oat milk is pretty much always gonna be super creamy. That's why I said this one's probably the best for lattes and the ones that you see in most coffee shops. This one contains some good beta-glucans, which is a soluble fiber from oats that helps lower cholesterol. And oat milk has a good environmental footprint. Not a lot of water or oats is needed to make this. And lastly, it's pretty easy to digest for most people. Now it's higher in carbs. Some contain added oils to make it creamier. I believe this one does. This one has some gum. There's no oil in this one, which is why it has lower calories. This one has better protein than almond or coconut, but it is still far lower from soy or pea. I don't tend to get this one. I'm not a huge fan of oat milk. The taste is good, but nutritionally, it's not one of my favorites. It's kind of in the middle. I know a lot of people like it for their coffee, but other than that, I feel like I could stay away from it. And coconut milk. Now this is the beverage coconut milk. Coconut milk has some odd naming conundrums that are happening. There's coconut milk in the can, there's coconut water, which is the water inside of a coconut, and then there's coconut milk, the drink, which is blended coconut pulp to make this, actual drink here. This is not the thick canned stuff for cooking, and if a recipe calls for coconut milk, most likely they're talking about the canned stuff, not this. On average, coconut milk has about 45 to 50 calories, mid-range on the calories. This one's actually a little bit more at around 100 calories. Typically 0 grams of protein, this one's 0 grams of protein, 5 grams of fat, mostly saturated fats, 2 grams of carbs. Ooh, got some chunks in there. Now that is the fat. Coconut milk is an odd one to me. The positives are that it's low carb and it has a coconut flavor if you like that. Coconut milk, this stuff here works well in smoothies and desserts, but you're not getting any protein. Zero protein. Typically it's higher in saturated fats. This one comes in at 8 grams of saturated fat. So that is by far 8 times higher than the rest of the saturated fats on all of these other milks. So quite a bit of saturated fat. It's definitely not great as your main milk for nutrition. You're not getting really anything nutritionally from this besides a little bit of potassium. Not ideal as a dairy milk replacement. I'm actually not gonna finish this one. Next up is rice milk. I actually didn't pick that one up. I don't tend to use it that much. It's naturally the most allergen friendly. Typically rice milks have an average nutrition of around 120 calories, 0 protein, 2 grams of fat, 22 grams of carbs. It's very easy to digest. Like I said earlier, it's kind of like a flavored water. Great for people with multiple food allergies. If you have a problem digesting things, rice milk's gonna be perfect for you. And it's sweet to the taste, even if it's unsweetened. The negatives are it is very high carbohydrate. Because of that, it can spike your blood sugar. If that's something that you're watching out for, rice milk is definitely not your go-to. It's best for people with allergies or specific recipes. Definitely not one that I would use as my daily milk. Cashew milk. Average nutrition, 25 to 50 calories. 0 to 1 grams of protein, 2 to 4 grams of fat, 1 gram of carbohydrates. Cashew milk is very creamy, right up there with oat milk, even when it doesn't contain any sort of additives like this one here. Water cashews. Oh, this one actually has oats in it. Okay, that's why this one's even creamier. It's great in coffees and sauces. I like using cashew milk when I'm making any sort of sauce or like a pink sauce for pasta, anything where I need to thicken it up. This works really good. And it's nice because it's typically pretty low calorie. Now, one of the negatives, it's typically almost nearly no protein. Often, it's mostly just water and thickeners. Again, you can find it without the thickeners. This one used oats as the thickener. And this one's pretty good. This is the first time I'm actually trying this one. Not bad. Unique flavor though, a little off. It's best for the people that want the calories of almond milk, but would like it a little creamier. Now the next one I've talked about in the past. Again, I don't have it with me. hemp milk. Hemp milk has an average nutrition between 60 and 80 calories, 2 to 3 grams of protein, 4 to 5 grams of fat, very low carb, and contains omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. The positives is that omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acid profile. More protein than most of these here besides soy or pea, and it's a good quality protein source. Hemp milk is also very eco-friendly if you're going down that route. Now, hemp milk does have a slightly earthy friendly flavor. That's one of the negatives. And the protein is still below soy or pea milk. So if you're going for protein, just pretty much just jump right for the soy. It's best for people that want a cleaner, less processed milk with healthy fats. Now, pea milk. This is one that I used for a long time. I was a big fan of this. Still am, but it does have kind of a bit of fillers in it. Pea milk is typically 70 to 80 calories, 8 grams of protein, 4.5 grams of fat, and 6 grams of carbs. It is the highest protein next to soy. It has a very creamy texture. It's often fortified really well, and it's allergen friendly. No soy, no nuts. The negatives are typically with the flavor. It can taste very proteiny. This one specifically. And a lot of times they're very pricey. I don't mind it. I like this one. I'm actually kind of thinking about going back and forth between soy and this one. This is best for athletes, kids, people who want dairy-free nutrition without soy. So, which one of these is the healthiest? While there's no single best plant-based milk, like I said in the beginning, it does depend on what you want. The way that I would personally rank them would be like this. In my best overall category for high protein and nutrition, soy and pea protein. These are my favorites. This is what I'm gonna have in my refrigerator 99% of the time. The best for coffee and creaminess is going to go to the oat and cashew. Lowest calorie is going to be the almond and cashew. Best for allergens, if you're concerned about allergens, is going to be pea protein and rice. And the worst for nutrition and overall, coconut milk and rice milk slightly below this. They have almost no protein. They rely heavily on fortification to get any sort of nutrients, and they're just very high carbohydrate. So here's the big lesson that I have learned just researching plant-based milk for years, is that plant-based milks aren't necessarily healthier than dairy, but they definitely are not worse. They're just different tools with different strengths. Personally, I don't drink dairy and I'm also lactose intolerant. This has been my go-to for decades. No milk is perfect. No milk is terrible. Any influencer that says that one of these is toxic is probably the thing that's actually toxic. Avoid influencers that use that language. And I actually do love this milk brand. They don't really have anything in them. Filtered water, organic soybeans, Himalayan pink salt. That's it. That's all that's in this. They always have a great flavor. They are a little bit pricier for what you're getting. You're getting a smaller amount for the same cost that you get a large container of. So that's one thing to watch out for. Soy milk can also be made at home very easily. Hopefully, if you did have any reservations about soy milk, you do understand that that science is outdated, it's fear-mongered, and it's completely incorrect.